Yeah. Hi everyone. It is it's Sunday. It's Sunday and I and I didn't stream yesterday. Hold on. My throat's feeling bad. Let me I start doing them regular voice exercises. Everyone. Oh, hold on. Let me catch up with it. Sea Slug, thank you for 20. That's incredibly long-standing. Juno, for the 10. That's also very long-standing. Thanks a lot, you two. Nim. Oh, welcome. Bananas. Hi, everyone. My voice feels like extra weird today. I don't know what's happening. But y'all, hear about that new deltarune? Because there's been stuff going on with it, including this newsletter of a couple days ago. So today, this is all we will be looking into. It's also going to be a shorter stream. Got at 5. In fact, pull up music that is more in line with this topic. This cover's so pretty. I've been listening to like all of the entire last 3 days. Okay. Let's pay visitation to this newsletter. We got stuff to do with the newsletter. We got stuff to do. Theory crap. We got stuff to do with the website. It's a lot. Also, the thing I've been busy with it is pretty close to completion. Pretty close. Couple things I gotta slot in. It's on track for sure, and I'm pretty excited about it. Keep looking forward to that. It's gonna be fun and mysterious. Okay. Good God! I don't know what's. My throat's scratchy as fuck right now. How could this be happening to me? Hold on. Let me clear my throat off mic. Okay. A little clearer. Here it is. Let me read through this. Easy welcome. We're doing a deltarune deep dive. Kind of. Okay. So we have news about the release time, which is exciting. Chapters 1 through 4 will release. Here we go. Nintendo Switch 2 version of Deltarune will launch June 5th, midnight local time. Effective read. So it's launching at different times. It's because of time zone, of course. People in Japan will get the Switch 2 version 13 hours sooner than the East Coast. Wow. Damn. But to compensate for this, the global release for like non-Switch 2 platforms is being it's centralized. It's all synced up for. What time is this? This is 7 a.m. This is 7 a.m. June 4th. Yeah. Because Japan is like close to a day ahead of EST. Yeah, Cheesy, you were really in the mind for it. Transverse is welcome. We're looking into deltarune. So y'all, here are what I believe to be times that are most applicable to us here. So I gotta be up at 8 a.m. play fucking deltarune. That's in less than a month. You know how my sleep schedule has been, but I'm gonna make an effort for this game. I'm gonna go like I'm gonna disappear for at least like a couple days, maybe a week for this. If you're in New Zealand or Australia and are getting the Switch 2 version of deltarune, you'll be able to get the game a couple hours earlier if you happen to get your Switch 2 exactly at midnight. But for convenience's sake, we're just going to ignore you guys and pretend that the game is not out. Meanwhile, don't say anything about it, please. Yeah, be so secretive. Ezra, thank you for the 3 months. I hope you're well. That's a lot of months. Thank you. Takeaway is that if you're reading this in English, there's a good chance you'll actually be able to get the game on June 4th. The 4th of June, that's crazy. Oh yeah, and you got this feature. Thanks to cross-buy, when you buy deltarune on the PlayStation Store, you get both versions, both consoles. Same with the Switch version. You buy the game on Switch, the Switch 2 version later, get at no additional cost. Ports right over. Thank you, Mr. Toby. This little graphic here is all back to a previous newsletter. Very good. Oh, my throat's so bad. Oh, look at this. We got trophies for the PlayStation release, because that's, I guess, mandatory for games to have on PlayStation. This is very interesting. Let's look at all of these. Pain for is like the 2? Is the 2 and the 4s and is that what is that denoting the chapters? Maybe that'd be it. And can I say yes, Cheesy? I would love to hear. Pain 4A. This of course is being like all caps, very kind of almost like clinical labeling and titling. This of course is when I say just the ears of that. When I saw just the ears of that graphic, I thought, oh, here? Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm glad you're starting to see them in places that her little ear things don't quite go that way, but maybe they could. I don't know. I don't know how flexible they are, considering it's like a hard plastic case of that is their head. So yeah, this is very peculiar. Pain 4A, like consumer 3A. These are being labeled like they're being filed, and if we know anything about the framing device that's going on with this game, there's stuff that lines up with this, with the whoever is the figure that is connecting us with the program. Folks might say that to be Gaster. Could be. I think there's a lot more stuff to Gaster than maybe people are thinking. I think maybe it's more elaborate than that. Toby's drawings remind me of your stuff. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's because Toby does draw. He does he doodles a fuck ton, and like I personally identify a lot with the little doodle, like pages of doodles he's done. Toby Fox drawings. Let me pull up some examples. I identify this is how I draw sometimes when I'm just hashing it out on like MS Paint. This is fantastic. Dizzy, hi. Welcome. You're well. So yeah, I think I don't know. I feel like the Gaster and the Des and the all that bunker stuff. Maybe it's it's not being played totally straight. I don't. There's Toby has I thought about this yesterday. Toby Fox is the person in the world with irrevocably the most OC brain rot of all time. Because that's all Undertale and Deltarune is. It's him delivering these storylines and characters that have only existed to him forever to people in the playable format. And it really shows. Because that's basically what all of Undertale is it's just him pitching you these characters and wanting you to care about them the way he does, and that's why that game's so good. You could tell me that that was I love so you're yeah. Toby's real loose scrappy doodles are so fun. I love them. But like, let's see. Find some other ones. Like, look at this. Look at this shit. Gaster is interesting as fuck. Whatever Gaster is. Magic and stuff has roots and sides. Yeah. Sans does be knowing about some fundamental mechanics of the Undertale universe. Look at this. This is fantastic. I genuinely love Toby's illustration. It's so fun. People are like, oh yeah, he's like a bad artist, but he gets like the gesture correctly. No, he's a good artist. This is, I don't know. It just be having like warped perceptions of what qualifies as art these days. Like that's Toby's good at it. Toby's good at this. And okay, so here's these trophies. Pain 4A, and if you've delved into Deltarune a bit, Deltarune, there's in Deltarune there are one of the most interesting things about Deltarune is that there are two save screens. There's two screens with like 3 sets of save files, and they're different. You have let me pull up 2 of them. You have this one. This one. This is the one that's like got the animated background, and it's like for the specific chapters. And it's like it has more flourish. It's got like that real wistful piano melody playing to it. The song, I believe the song is called Before the Story. And then you have this. And this second one is one of the most, like, one of the easiest things for my brain to chew on in the game. And this is the second file select screen. And this one precedes this one. So this is for like, this encompasses every chapter. And this is for the specific chapter you're selected for. And this one here, if you've not like played around with this screen, this is the screen that like, I think when you boot up the game, you just go here, basically, something like that. Or like when you don't have like one of these chapters save files loaded, have this instead, and it's quite different. It's all very clinical green shape tool everywhere. Nothing, no flourish, nothing at all. And here's the difference. These are capitalized, these are not, and my impression is that this is like the first big framing device of the game. Is like you're being inducted into the game via this file select, which inducts you into the more like in-universe, more like conventionally flourished, more like conventional game presentation leaning file select screen. So this one doesn't have to capitalize because what happens with this one is that when you copy or you erase or you whatever with all these save files, you get different bits of dialogue that are very curiously written. Definitely written to be in the same like cadence of the character who initiates you into the game, what they gotta make. So this thing is a very important factor. I think like, what is it? I could pull this up. It's super fascinating. deltarune file select dialogue. Yes, this is such a bizarre thing about the game. It has 2 file selects and the hell. Okay, this is good. It was chapter 1 that gave you a character creator and then destroy. Yeah, that was chapter 1. Yeah, gave you a character creator and then discarded it because you cannot choose who you are in this world, which is that's like the, I guess the thesis of deltarune that may or may not be challenged by the end of it, because deltarune, the big difference between deltarune and Undertale is that deltarune is more deterministic, and that's, you have to like consider what the hell that means. Which is, I guess that's funny with determination being a whole plot element. Yeah, that I think I have thoughts about why these 2 parallel worlds have that difference, and maybe I'll get into it more later. Hold on, I think Oyster wants in. Oyster. It was sushi. Sushi. It was not oyster. Okay, so here we have. This is like, and there's also like this really kind of haunting, grating sound that just repeatedly plays here, and this is the text you get from interacting with these save files with these different options. Here, and listen to this. Copying an empty save file. It is barren and cannot be copied. What the fuck? Erase. Select the one to erase. But it was already gone. There's a lot of like, but it was kind of sentences between the 2 games. But nobody came. All that. The one to copy. Copying a save file to itself. Choose the The way all this is worded is just so interesting. I love this. Choose the one to copy. It is immune to its own image. Choose the target for the reflection. Copying a save file to an empty slot. Choose the one to copy. Choose the target for the reflection. The division is complete. So there's a character here. There's a character that's very directly engaging with you. And obviously it seems to be the character from the Goner Maker, this character that is um, that that a lot of folks are um, fairly presuming is basically the game developer, but I have reservations about that line of thought because I don't think that's quite the case. I don't think it's like literally the game because the game developer is already in the game. It's fucking annoying dog, and annoying dog is already that's already a whole thing. And annoying dog is played for laughs, so like any direct like Deus Ex Machina or involvement that Toby has with this game is like all it's all jokes. It's all played for laughs. So this character is not. I don't think this character is literally the developer. I think they've come into possession with this software and are employing it in a unique way. Because Toby, that's the guy. Toby might as well be the fucking knight, be the guy drawing out these worlds of darkness from the earth because he's the fucking dev. I love hearing your deep analysis of something that I've only really interacted with on a surface level. Yeah, this this game, um, every all of all of Toby Fox video game ventures into video game making have been quite a benchmark for me for the last 10 years in five in 4 to 5 months. Yeah, in 4 to 5 months it's gonna be 10. Yeah, it's all very important to me. I gotta know what happens when you copy to an existing save file. Yeah, this is all. Use the one to copy. Target reflection. It will be subsumed. Overwrite. Do not. It retained its original shape. Use the one to copy. Reflection. Subsumed. It conformed to the reflection. So there's something going on here. What did? And if you start fucking around with this too much, you start being silly with it, just doing the same thing over and over again. What an interesting behavior. Then it was spared. If you're about to override it and then you don't at the end, then it was spared. Then it will be destroyed. It was as if it was never there at all. Something that was never there at all sounds like maybe the Goners. If y'all know about the Goners of Deltarune, they are a very big factor in the underbelly of that game. So yeah, I absolutely love this screen. It because this is the first framing device of the game. Everything that happens in the game exists under this framing device, and the game becomes a lot scarier when you like acknowledge that this is above it all. This is this is the interface that facilitates all of the game. It's crazy. Erasing when there's no save file left, but there's nothing left to erase. So yeah, I'm so intrigued. Whatever the fuck is happening with this game. So yeah, that's the two save files, and like when you enter the save file, it just takes you to like the actual in-game one. In the in-game save, like the second save file is like way more normal because that's like within the parameters of the game, while this is not. This is like just like the UI, like the bare bones UI to open the program. And what the hell could be happening here? Like, yeah, there's a very stark difference between these two. And of course, like, this is all caps because the speaker, um, who negotiates with you, in the screen, they tend to speak in all caps. There's certainly someone we do know from deltarune who seems to be speaking in all caps most of the time from certain lab entry. Yeah, but no one came, but it refused. Yeah, it's there's so much to all of this. I'm so curious. So yeah, and like this is being worded. The way like these rewards are being labeled is like the same. It's the same like clinicalness of of that kind of pain for a like marking it down like there's like cause there's there's cause to like organize this in a specific way. Consumer 3A, armor 4A, strengthen 2A. Maybe this does line up with I don't know what these because is it possible these are like for the same these are all for chapter 3. That is possible. Um but I don't know. It's like throne, investigate the throne. This this is something you do in chapter 1, but it could be something that happens later as well. Strengthen 2A, augment your power. I believe that's something you could do in chapter 2 when you get to Castletown, like in the post game. I think I'm pretty sure that's something you can do. Like 4A, like is it the chapters? And okay, chapter 3 end complete without issue. Okay. Don't you also do it in detail? Oh, the throne. Yeah, you can investigate with Asgore's throne. Yeah, but there's very specifically only been one throne in Deltarune so far, which is King's Throne. And the King's Throne is very interesting because it's laid out very. There's only so many ways to make like a throne room, but it's laid out pretty similarly to Asgore's room. So, and here is a point. Here's the biggest point in these trophy descriptions that is that is maybe scaring people, and it is scaring me as well. Is there any word on if yeah, yes, Dizzy. Um, yes. But I think you just gotta get the game and all of those save files will you won't need to replay the game or anything. Merkwin, welcome. My brain is thoroughly fried by thinning out solutions for lab on Wednesday. Oh no. I remember when I had to do labs. I don't think they were particularly involved or difficult, but I did not. I'm sure you're smart enough to figure that out. You're gonna fucking kill it. Okay, okay. So, okay. This is the scary thing about this, okay? Chapter 3 end. Complete without issue. Complete without issue is like kind of a specific way to word it. Because you could just say complete. Or like complete without issue is like a weird roundabout way of saying complete without maybe dying. But it's very strange, especially with like the all caps formatting. It's like this is all being written like in the cadence of this of the character from the Gunner Maker. And this is actually a thing that's always been in the back of my mind because in Undertale, if y'all don't know, in Undertale, 1 month before Deltarune Chapter 1 came out, Undertale got updated. Undertale was dealt a very tiny update. but let me pull it up. It's one of it's maybe it's one of the most fascinating things in Undertale. Let me share this to y'all. Is this it? I think this is it. Okay, yeah. Okay. Sushi. Sushi's kind of on my mouse cord, and it's being a little little hard here. Okay. So here we go. So this is Waterfall. Do you think it's like completing it without issue is a certain route, and there's another route you can play that is considered with issue? You know? That seems to be maybe the implication. And here's what people are thinking, and it's also, I feel like this adds up very, very solidly. Okay, so we have Clam Girl here from Waterfall. Hi Kate, welcome. Howdy. So we're at Waterfall, and we have Clam Girl here. Okay, so here's Clam Girl's dialogue. I'm visiting Waterfall from the city. Synchronicity? My neighbor's daughter looks about your age. Cat, pay attention. My neighbor's daughter looks about your age. Her name is Susie. I feel like you two should be friends. You're just seeing this shit? Her name is Susie. I feel like you two should be friends. This is Susie. It is a very deliberately different spelling. Very deliberately. So, and I guess the assumption with this is that folks have made this point, and I agree with it. This seems to be Susie of the Undertale world. And a thing that happens between Undertale and Deltarune is that, like, between the two games, there's a lot of name shenanigans, like Flowey, or like Azriel being an amalgamation of Asgore and Toriel. There's a lot of name nonsense. So the assumption here, I guess, is that this is Susie of the Undertale world, and for some reason, yeah, Chris and Frisk, yeah, Chris and Frisk is a really good example. So in Undertale, maybe we could assume her name is Susie with a Z, and like what's the deal with that? Like, why? Why would this character's name be different? Like, when they're brought into this world, her name is Susie. I feel like you two should be friends. And it's a train of thought that definitely a handful of folks have had, and I think so as well. So that's Clam Girl. One of the most peculiar bits of dialogue. And okay, and here's the crazy shit. This line of dialogue. This happens after when you're like doing the backtracking from after beating Azriel. This bit here, what happens here, was patched into the game 1 month before Chapter 1 came out. We're back at Waterfall. Got Clam Girl. So you never met okay, here we go. So you never met my neighbor's daughter. Please don't despair, as the time that you will meet her. So this is in the game. If you have the fun value for Clam Girl, yes, this happens. This is something that happens. And here's what me and some other folks think. Okay. So Susie Deltarune has a different spelling. Susie Undertale has the ZY. And and Toby Fox do be loving anagrams, and and it's a pretty silly train of thought, but I think it's pretty in line with how Toby functions with his character naming conventions. Um, Susie, if we look at the word Susie, it's an anagram, or maybe another word, issue. Um, issue like here, and the very selective wording here, complete without issue. And what's the significance of Susie's name being an anagram for issue is because Susie is literally, she's a problem child. She's like neglected, and she's like she's eating chalk. She's by all means an issue child, an issue teen. And that's the connection that some folks have made. It's like through and this is what is it? So in Deltarune, like, I guess my train of thought is in Deltarune. Susie is like, she's not gone through her character arc by the start of the game, and I think in Undertale, maybe maybe there's I don't know, there's like, she's like more resolved with her issues, so her name literally transforms to where it's no longer uh, an anagram for the word issue. And then I have this other thought is a whole, it's a whole rabbit hole, but the way I see these two games, my with the information we have and my current understanding, um, what I think Deltarune is, and what I think Undertale is, and I think, okay, so like, let's say when Deltarune first came out, people were like, oh, it's a sequel to Undertale because it's like Frisk in the human world, like on the surface, and we obviously that's not the case anymore. But Deltarune, the world of Deltarune, like the light world of Deltarune is like the we can take the light world of Deltarune to being like analogous to the underground of Undertale, and the light world of Deltarune is like very urban, suburban, very typical, very mundane. It's by all means very normal, aside from just its strange cast of characters, and and the dark worlds of Deltarune is where all of the fantasy is like, that's where all of the fantasy is sequestered away. The fantastical elements of Deltarune is in the dark worlds, and in Undertale that's not the case. It's like in Undertale, like all of the underground is like a dark world because it's just like that, and um, that especially adds up when you look at the characters. When you look at the characters and see where they are, um, their roles in Deltarune are very analog to their roles in Undertale. Um, Undyne in Undertale is the royal guard. Deltarune, she's a cop. Toriel is the tutorial caretaker. Deltarune, she's a teacher. Asgore, the lonely king who tends to his flowers. Deltarune, a flower guy, a florist. So my first theory for Deltarune was that they got it underground, but the humans trapped them in another place, and threw Frisk and also the first human in there. But this place is supposed to keep them happy, not want to escape into darkness or back end of this whole simulation. I see. My theory is quite different. Um, with the pieces we have, my best my best like shot in the dark is that Deltarune um is the is Undertale's previous state of existence, and I think there's two big things to reconcile with Deltarune. Is like, why is Deltarune like, why is there this disparity between the real of the light world and the fantasy of the dark world? In Undertale, like those two are like married together basically. and then we have and then we have the other thing. Why why would Deltarune become Undertale? And um and to answer that, I think it's like what is the big the big the big difference between Deltarune and Undertale is that Deltarune is a deterministic story. It upholds determinism. It upholds a, as far as we know, a beginning and end. It's like it's by all means linear. Um, Compared to Undertale, Undertale is more. It's Undertale's like storyline is more modular. There's there's more branching. There's more capacity for entropy and chaos in the Undertale story, and more expressions of player agency. And my read is that Deltarune, the whole the whole story of Deltarune so far is these characters experiencing things that they have never before in these dark worlds because the light world is just boring rural America basically. And I think that reflects in what Deltarune is and what Undertale is. And I my read is that Deltarune is like um the determinism of Deltarune's like narrative is very synergistic with the determinism that the characters are find themselves under. Like Susie's been dealt a bad hand throughout her life. Chris uh, has been robbed of most of their agency because of the player, because of being the player being tethered to them. Um, Noelle is just a whole mess. Noelle is just a disaster waiting to burst. Um, and all this stuff about like lack of contentness with your own existence, lack of agency and say and sway in the world. I think my read is that and then we have like the Dark Fountains and the roaring. The roaring of Deltarune is like the big apocalypse event. I don't know if I've verbalized this before, but my read is that the roaring happens when too many Dark Fountains are released. The roaring happens when these fantasies begin to sprout ever presently and become too much for the reality of the light world to resist. And just with what we know, it's a very bold take. I think it's a very definitive thing to think. But my my thought is that the roaring is what transforms Deltarune into Undertale, because Undertale is it's a fantasy world. Undertale is basically its own dark world. Um, it's a dark world where like all of the more suburban living style characters have been reflected um, across the lens of fantasy into into the world of Undertale, which is like all of their occupations are like pretty similar to what they are in Deltarune. And I think that makes sense because Deltarune is like linear, it's deterministic. Characters don't have a say in whatever. In Undertale, there is agency in Undertale, but it is all contingent on the player of the game. Um, and I think the most, that's what makes the most sense to me. And I think the fate of Deltarune, because like I think some characters in Deltarune say is that like the roaring is like fated to happen. It's like inevitable, and that reflects I think that reflects Toby's actual like like his actual course as a developer, because Deltarune was the original idea, and I guess the idea is that Deltarune, the world of Deltarune, becomes subsumed in its own desire for hope and agency. That it becomes a different thing. It becomes Undertale, which is, and but the only way for a video game to have true agency is to give the player a choice. And it's like I think the question between the two games is that is there a difference? It is like is the world of Deltarune any more liberated? Or I think the question is is the world of Undertale any more liberated than the world of Deltarune? Because Undertale has agency, but only in terms of the player's engagement with it, and that's the only way that a game can have agency, um, is through the player. So like regardless, it's like it is it is like the the facilitator of the game, the player of the game, who is like who ultimately has this this ultimate sway over how the game plays out. And it's like Deltarune is bound by just being like a game with a linear story and an ending. Undertale is bound um, by the whims of the player, and I think that's the big difference between the two games. It's like is that freedom really worth it for like for because that what happened with Deltarune is that Deltarune is the first idea Toby had for this universe or for this game to be. um, Deltarune precedes Undertale by a couple of years, and it's like an action. It's like pretty one to one with how that whole happened on the developer side, because Toby gets the idea for Deltarune, um, and we don't. Um, I'm sure there's like a lot of ways in which Deltarune has been changed retroactively because of Undertale existing um, before it. But it's like has an idea for Deltarune. Um, that idea gets scrapped for the moment. Um, those ideas are reborn as Undertale, and in this new in this new under this new lens of Undertale, where there is player agency and there is like a capacity for change. It's like Toby is almost like heeding what his own characters wanted. That's my take on it. Um, and that plays back into Undertale, because the whole point of Undertale is that there is free will in this world, but you need to facilitate it for these characters. You need to facilitate it for this world, because that's how games work. You can't give characters in a game agency. That's unless you like, I don't know, fucking rig them to AI chat GPT chatbot or whatever. But that's not good. That's certainly not good. But I guess that's my take is that yeah, that's like my big idea about the game is that Deltarune is like the prior state of Undertale that is like that and Deltarune becomes Undertale because of its own character's frustration with itself. So speaking Laura's, why is the new evolved in more liberal world where folks have more free will? Why does it suck significantly more for all of them? That's that's true. Um, and this okay, this is another big part. Why does the world of Undertale suck more for them? It's because of this is the whole other part of my theory. It's because of the whole war of monsters versus humans. And my take is that the war of against monsters and humans, I think it's like an I think it's like an in-universe like allegory for what the two games are about. Is monsters and humans. Okay, monsters, it's like every character between the games is a monster other than the human player. And okay, here okay. Let me lock down on this. Um in Undertale, the backstory of Undertale, humans monsters go to war, humans beat monsters, they cast them down into the darkness, throw up a big wall, monsters are now sequestered uh, in the darkness. And my take is that this is my take is that this is an allegory for my take is that this is an allegory for man conquering their own fiction. Um, because humans are a very specific thing in Undertale, and for all we know, there's only like we don't have a good idea of who the humans in Undertale are. We don't even see any of them other than Frisk, other than Kara. We don't see even the the fallen humans whose belongings are scattered throughout the game. Okay, determinism, happy life, lack of free will, man for free will leads to Undertale. Lack of determinism, sad life, needing more determination. Determinism, the sense of true endings, correct ways to play Undertale. That's yes, that's a very good way to put it. Yeah, I think I think Undertale is like a response to Deltarune's struggle for agency, for determinism, and I think okay. Another important detail about what I think about these games. I think in terms of like so they're like these two are like we can call them AUs of each other. We can call them alternate universes, but I think Deltarune precedes Undertale chronologically. But I think this version of Deltarune um, is after Undertale. I think because Deltarune is the idea that precedes Undertale, but I think what we're playing and with all the framing devices going on with it, I think Deltarune is it's like it's like this old idea that's being revitalized with these framing devices that are there because of retrospect that is only possible with Undertale being there. That's my understanding of it. Um, I uh, I guess the simple way to put it, I think the in story like the in universe like storyline and characters of Deltarune proceed Undertale chronologically. But I think like the actual story, the real elevated bullshit story that's gonna be more revealed to us later on, I think that is a sequel to Undertale. You want free will in your world, but people make any choice they can, which leads to bad choices, or you want a society with yeah, that 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 does yeah that does add up with my whole take on the game. That's kind of how I'm seeing the game right now. Um, and I would honestly love to be proven correctly because I feel like that's a pretty clean like observation of the game and what we have so far. It, uh, it, there's this theory that I read like, years ago about the game, and a lot of it was a lot of like my current read on the game was inspired by that theory. Like there was a version of Deltarune that became Undertale, and this is a new version of Deltarune. Perhaps mysterious intro guys running a new version with some slight differences. Yeah, I think that's maybe the the safest way for me to like understand the game is that this is a reboot of this once expired idea because and there's a whole thing about like things being forgotten in the dark, like darkness, and we have the secret bosses are like all things that are discarded and abandoned, and um if anything if anything there was left in the dark, it's Deltarune because Deltarune literally was Toby's big idea, and it literally got fucking shafted for its sister game Undertale, which ended up being one of the most culturally defining video games ever. The bigger question: how does the fourth wall breaking function? Yes, that's a big one. Talk about rebooting the world. Folks in this world who know this is happening and know this is a player. Hmm. Yeah, we're still we're still like really we're definitely browsing for like across the next couple of chapters. We're definitely going to be browsing for like what characters know more than they do. The two that are obviously the most knowing are the Mister Character Creator and Rousey. Rousey is definitely knowing some shit. Um, Rousey knows a lot, in fact. we gotta investigate that. Do they just have a higher consciousness, or do the players and devs play a role in the formation of the? Yeah, I don't know. It's so interesting. What if it's not just an allegory for Toby's experience, but it is Toby's experience? I think that's a very valid train of thought to take. It's definitely one I find myself in, for sure. So interesting. This is my favorite stuff. Of all this. And yeah, like the whole thing about like deltarune being uh brought back from the dead, and like this new character that is like propagating and facilitating the game to us, as the as the narrator character is who is who uh when deltarune when chapter 1 first came out, it like released with this insanely mysterious like Twitter account blackout that was being narrated by Mr. Narrator Man. So it's this guy who's facilitating the release of this game. And yeah, I think that's all a good read. I'm so invested. Real life order of development of these games and Deltarune being IRLs. Why these worlds were abandoned and rebooted. I I think that's the safest. Yeah, that's the safest way to read into this game, cheesy. And and because it's the safest way to read the game, I do hope I'm actually I hope I'm wrong to like a pretty sizable extent, because I think there's even more insane ways to take this. Um, and we've been given a lot of information, but I feel like we've only been given, what is it, like 2 out of 7 bits of information that will add up to all of this. So so curious about this. I think about this a lot. It means to me. So yeah, Sleep Without Issue, very scary. I'm just so looking forward to all of this. Yeah, that like it's an idea that I don't see super often. That like I feel like it makes a lot of sense that the roaring is like is Deltarune succumbing to like its own fiction that is spawned from it. And I think it makes sense that Undertale is the result of all of Deltarune being metamorphosized into a dark world. I think that makes a lot of sense. And um, the backstory of Undertale, of course, uh, I I think um, the way Undertale the way it like how do I say the way Undertale like presents the humans of its story that aren't like Chris is very or Chris or Frisk or Kara is very mysterious for me, because we don't see them on the surface. Um, we don't know like, whoa, hi Swifty, I hope you're well. Um, yeah, we're talking at length about all of this because boy, this is soon. I hope you're well. Also, Swifty, let me know when you're down for the little thing, little recording thing. Let me check when it's due. Um, what the hell? Where'd taskbar go? Should do. Maybe I shouldn't open up the calendar. I don't know what's gonna show. I think like um next Friday. So not this Friday. I think it's next Friday that I gotta get that in. So yeah. I hope you're well. Hope you're well, India. Try and do it tomorrow. That would be super cool. Um, I think I shared the document to you if you want like the whole thing, so it's easy to read. But yeah, super appreciate it. Um, I hope you have fun with it. I hope you enjoy have fun with it. Yeah, you could have oh also I guess there's a thing about it like how do I say the timing. There's a thing with the timing that how do I say, the lines that aren't yours. I've not figured out a way to like, how do I say, because I'm assuming you're going to like record your setup for it, but I've not I've not thought of a way to like suggest how like long the pauses for the lines that aren't yours should be. Yeah, I guess I could still figure that out. If y'all can like leave those empty gaps for me to fill in, that would be pretty handy. I don't know what better way to do that, honestly. Like I could make a like a little thing with like a whole timer about it. Let me know. Let me know if that would help. Anyways, deltarune. Complete without issue. That's the scariest thing I've ever seen. Hold on, I should be playing music. Or I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay. Thank you very much, Swifty. Super appreciate it. Okay, let's see. As you might guess, the trophy list outlines an interesting challenge. Trophies are permanent, so every one you gain is an eternal measure for your success. The way things are set up, you'll only receive a trophy once the current room where you're locked it ends. So you have to like exit the room to get to get the check to happen. Juno and Anna are out here theory crafting about completely different things on this theory craft. Yeah, it's very mysterious. You'll miss getting it if you turn off the games before then, so be careful while turning off chapters. Especially there may be certain conditions where you miss acquiring the chapter and trophies. I don't think it's something an average player would run. Interesting. Yeah, certain conditions where you will miss acquiring the chapter. That's a very peculiar place to be not getting the achievement that just says you completed the chapter. It's very interesting. Also, okay. So the thing about Undertale and Undertale's humans, it's a thought I've always had about how strangely Undertale presents the humans of the story. I could play the music quiet. Yeah, my take is that Undertale's whole mythology of monsters versus humans, I think that's an allegory. I think it's an allegory that manifests as like an actual vague story event actually happening in the world of Undertale, but I think it's an allegory that applies to both of the games. Because okay, what is darkness? Darkness is fiction. It really is just literal fiction. And deltarune is like about these pockets of fiction and splendor being pulled out of the earth from a much less interesting world. And what's Undertale? Undertale's all darkness. It's literally all underground. It's all beneath the light, and that's I guess that's the big proponent for my take that Undertale is like maybe not like literally, but is essentially a whole dark world. And that's what I think the whole casting down of the monsters in the underground is. I think it's very analogous to the casting down of Darkners via the Lightners in Deltarune, and how Darkners have been lost to memory because Darkners are the manifestations of like actual things, actual things that maybe might no longer see the light of day when people grow out of playing with such things. And boy, does that not apply to, if that doesn't apply to Undertale as well. Because Undertale, it's like the monsters are like the distinction of humans and monsters is very specific. It's like we know so little about what humans are between the two games. We don't know why there's only one human of Deltarune. We don't know the validity of, like, the certainty of there even being a whole human race in Undertale. It's all very nebulous, and yeah, the take, like, to read it, my take is that, like, Undertale's backstory is like allegorical. It's an allegorical casting down and conquering of man over their own fiction, which is typically how it goes. Typically, people who create fiction have the reins on it, but which is why all the characters of Undertale are sequestered literally underground in the dark, and what's the objective of Undertale? Liberating these characters, pulling them out of the darkness, and let me pull up this happening, Undertale. And with all this in mind, I think maybe you can. I think maybe we can guess as to what the barrier is. Because I think with all this information between the two games, I can only see the barrier as being the threshold between real and fiction. I think that's what it is. What happens in Undertale? This big old thing happens. You humanize these characters. You give them the things they need to thrive as characters. You fulfill their storyline, and you validate you validate all of Toby's storytelling sense, and by doing this, you elevate Undertale into being a thing that's real, a thing that is verifiably real, and it's so real that the screen shadows before your eyes. And these characters have, with your help, managed to become something other than characters in the game. That's what I think. That's what I think about the two games. It's like, yeah, it's like Undertale is like Deltarune's shot at finally achieving autonomy, basically. And it's autonomy at the sake of, like, everything that can happen in Undertale. Because, you know, not everyone's getting the good ending. But it's like, it's the autonomy that matters. It's the fact that different things can happen in this world. That's what I think of this world, and I think Deltarune as okay. I think with the intervention of, like, Mr. Narrator Gasterman and, like, all of that bizarre framing device stuff, I think Deltarune, like the in-universe isolated storyline of Deltarune. I think Deltarune, with that, like, without, like, all that aspect of Deltarune, I think Deltarune is destined to become Undertale. Deltarune becomes Undertale, and I think what's happening with Mr. Gaster Narrator Man, I think something else is happening. I think it's that character trying to realize a different ending for Deltarune, where it doesn't become consumed and realized as a totally different world. It's like but I can't quite visualize what that is, because if Deltarune's ending is bound for it becomes bound to become a world that finally can exercise autonomy, then what the hell is the alternative to that? What could be the other ending we're going for in Deltarune? And that is what I think. That's what I think Toby means by saying that the game has one ending. my take is that the one ending of Deltarune is that it became Undertale. And I think what's happening right now is something else. I think it's this original this original I think it's like the original like course of events that Deltarune takes place under is being diverted with with the with however it's being adjusted by Mr. Narrator Man and the players compacted the narrator and the players compacted collaboration and what the hell like our interactions will manifest as in this world. And maybe that's what the Weird Red is about. I don't know. And yeah, let's see. Cooked here. Humans who cast down monsters are represented the folks who rejected the concept of Delta. You come from that world into the world of the creator as a player and play through Undertale and bring it back to the light of day where other players and critics can see it beyond just the abandoned project. Damn, that's a really good way to frame it. What happens if it doesn't become Deltarune? Yeah, like what the hell is the alternative? Is it for it to flourish as its own thing? It's like, what could this happy ending? What could this like ending be for this world if it doesn't get to achieve? If the world doesn't get to achieve its ultimate dream of becoming autonomous, surrendering to its own fiction, so that it could become something rather than stagnate as itself for all time. I don't know what the alternative objective could be, but I'm sure the Weird Route has some involvement with it. You know, another anagram for Undertale and Deltarune, unaltered. Is that real? It is, yeah. Wow. I'm so curious. God, I'm what a fun game to think about. What a benchmark in all of my identity. Anyways, let's see. I think you'll enjoy the game more if you don't pay attention to whether you get the trophies. I gotta get complete without issue. What the hell could this be? Without issue. But it says chapter 3 end. It's saying that like it's the default ending. Spamton sweepstakes. And related to all that, remember how I mentioned there's an alternative ending? Oh, we should watch that. I spent so long thinking about it, I missed an essay deadline in middle school. Damn. Damn. I'm sure the game has brought more to your life than that essay would have ever. So I think you won there. We should watch this. After you give that a gander, it might be a good idea to check the rest of the website for old time's sake too. I only consider anything in the game itself to be canon, so there is nothing critically important on there. But looking around, the site itself sure is a lot of fun. Yes, this is our big activity for the next whole hour or so. Other anagrams include LA Rentu. That's very fun. Proper wall theory here. What if the original Deltarune was unaltered, reflecting the deterministic structure of the world until the wrong happened? But the title Deltarune is a manifestation of someone changing the original premise. We are going ways, y'all. That's crazy. And yeah, like, and the what is it? I think Jevil has dialogue. After you beat Jevil, he has dialogue that I think is like really like spells out like the imagery well of what could be happening. Deltarune, Jevil, fight, maybe post-fight dialogue. I don't know. Make sure this has it. Okay, I think this has it. Yes. Okay, so we have Jebel here. Also, the freedom motif. The freedom motif and the don't forget motif are just... They might be my favorite motifs that Toby has done. I love them. Especially like here, like in this segment of the song where it just loops so deliciously. Okay, so after you beat Jekyll, let's see. What fun! I'm exhausted. You can start me up. I'll sleep for the other the other 100 years. That's a very fun way to word it. Fortunately, you kids cannot have such a pleasant dream. Obviously, there's a lot of things about dreams and... Oh, I'm so excited to get to the sweepstakes because there's so much to get into there. From now, a nightmare will awaken in your hearts. The shadow of the knight's hand. Obviously, we have the knight. We have their hand. We don't know who the knight could be. There's a lot of mystery with the knight. It could be anyone. It could be a returning character. It could be a character that we know from name. It could be someone we've never met. Either way, I think it's going to be very interesting. It could be not a character at all. Lightners, can you stop it? I bet we can. Hee hee hee. Either way, a mischief, chaos, chaos. Lightners from inside your little cell. Take this into your strongest. Wait, what? No. Where's the other dialogue? The hell? Where's the other dialogue? Hold on. Let me pull up the Jebel Wikipedia page. Okay. Oh, you have to beat him by fighting. Okay. Here. So, from the wiki here, we have his dialogue. You have to get this dialogue from fighting him. Yeah, the Jebel fun is... The Jebel fight is very fun. And also very tricky. Okay, here we go. Okay. You're fast, strong, but they're yet faster, yet stronger. The hand of the knight is drifting forward. Soon the queen returns. So obviously, Jebel knows what happens in the foreseeable future. And hell's roar bubbles from the depths. Hell's roar bubbles from the depths. Something bubbling from the depths. Maybe a dark fountain? With how that whole bit ends. And the depths is a whole thing, y'all. If y'all have not looked into what the depths is, hold on, let me pull up. There's a whole like thing about deltarune that has to do with the deep and water and the ocean. And it's so fascinating. So here we go. So this is the background of the Ghana Maker sequence. It's like this weird kaleidoscope thing. And the image file is called image underscore, it's like this, image underscore depth. That's what this file is called, the game. And people have found the actual image that it's spliced from. It's just an image of the surface of the ocean. And there's a lot of stuff about the ocean in deltarune. There's like ocean.wav, which is like the sound that plays in some of the pages of the Spamton sweepstakes. There's Onion Sand. Onion Sand, when you talk to Onion Sand in chapter 2, they tell you that they're hearing a song from under the ocean. That sounds a little familiar. And it's... What the hell could be happening here? Kingdom Hearts does have ocean stuff, as I recall. With Sora taking many dives, I recall. I don't know, I don't play those. So yeah, Hell's roar bubbles from the depths. Yeah, like in terms of like visual imagery, the way I see the roaring happening is like the whole all of the surface of the light world is like gets punctured and is like all releasing these darkness fumes. I guess the visual way would be like the light world of like deltarune literally like what's the word? What's that word? Um like sinkhole. Deltarune gets sinkholed into the ground into darkness because of all of all of the fountains that the fountains that have emerged. And clams from the ocean. Wow. Clams do be from the ocean. Are there like are there freshwater clams out there? So yeah, in terms of visual imagery, I just see it like like all these fountains sprout from the surface of the light world, and then Deltarune gets sinkholed in, like collapses in on itself, in its it collapses in on its own darkness, and darkness is Deltarune's own capacity for fiction. And it's like the whole thing about framing devices. It's like Deltarune has so many framing devices going on. We have the framing device of the first power select screen, where it's like weird and mysterious. Then we have the framing device of the light world, which frames the dark world. And then there's like the whole thing of like darker and darker, like like drawing out a dark world from inside a dark world. And I think that's probably what the whole darker yet darker has to do with. It's like my take is that it's about like the it's about like the potential, the possibility for fiction to become recursive. That's what makes sense to me. And it's a thing I've thought about a lot about. It's like what does it mean for fiction to be recursive? Like what's the point of that? And I think maybe the, what I thought a bit ago was if fiction would become like endlessly recursive, there'd become a point where there is like far too much a degree of separation between that first interface and then one of and then like a deeper interface. And I think it might be about like creating that disparity, that distance between between those two interfaces, like create those vast canyons of um, degrees of separation. I feel like that's my most informed take on what the whole dark yet darker thing is about. Like creating fiction from fiction and so on. It's the whole Mandelbrot of fiction. The deep ocean is through darkness, driven sun. Yeah, I'm very familiar with the fact that the ocean is dark. Going back to Jevil, I think him being the only one, the only time you really get a choice in the game, probably indicates that he is somehow linked to the past, future. Interesting. Yeah, and like, what does like what the like? It's a cool idea for like a dark world to be drawn out from a dark world, but like, I feel like you really have to reconcile with what that means. Because dark worlds are it's fantasy, it's entertainment, it's um like reconciliation and personal growth. And what does it mean for like these worlds to just endlessly sprout from one another? And I think that's what it might be about. The whole all of like Gaster's experimentation such. So interested. What the fuck could all this be about? So that's Jevil. Here we go. Let's see. We got Toby's many accounts. Toby showed up on Blue Sky in a very funny way. What does it mean for that to exist in a world with no agency, a world where no one knows who they are? Yeah, it's like, oh, so many things. It's yeah, and it's like I guess uh, tying back into like the theory of Deltron becoming Undertale. It's like what is it? It's kind of like the characters of Deltarune who are experiencing these dark worlds are like being given a taste for what free will and autonomy actually is. And I think that's it makes sense that that's what the roaring is. It's like all these characters it's like all these characters have like collectively surrendered to their desire to actually live. Um and in that sense I think the roaring could possibly be more peaceful than it's being presented as. And like there's the whole thing about like Rousey. Like Rousey's trying to like prevent the roaring. Rousey is up to some things. We there's a lot to that character that still needs to be elucidated about. I'm so interested. Ugh. Anyways, um, where's the video? Where the fuck is it? Hampton? Skip it? Oh, I skipped it. Shaking Rousey like a fucking drone troop. Yeah, that's how they say it in the Queensland. This is the most philosophical I've gotten. Yeah, it's so fun to think about. Here's the alternate ending to hold on. We could watch the ending for both of them. They're very fun. Very fun. This whole thing was very fun. It was so bizarre. Did y'all catch this live? It's where like they like announced the winners for like all of these these little things here. These raffled prizes. I unfortunately did not get any of them, which I'm not so thrilled about. I would have loved to at least get one. It's like huge Deltarune Chapter 2 spoilers. Oh, let me think. Not really. I would say no. It's like it's very deliberately not canon. It's very bizarre. Um, it's just it's a whole live action bit that they wanted to record for this. Maybe watch. Well, hold on. Maybe okay. If two of y'all have not gone through chapter 2 yet, maybe I'll hold off on that. But um, I will be deep diving into here. What's next? Chapter 3. Not applicable. Hmm. But yes, okay. So this bit only slides in if you hold the left key, and yeah, people are thinking about this. Yeah, there's one for like most of the chapters. Chapter 2, applicable. Chapter 1, not applicable. So there's something that chapter 2 has that 1 and 3 don't or will not have. But Mr. Toby, what are you speaking about? Chapter 4. Got some ellipses up here. Very um not so informative. Oh, and look at that. What's that I see? A red dot. I've never seen one in my life, in fact. You click the red dot. And what do we have here? This was a fun puzzle that folks have figured out. So we have this little layout here. This is the one with, yeah, red dot. And we have this here. What do we have here? Look on these. Assets audio .mp3. So this is E. Some sound going on. This is also E. Interesting. A lot of E going on. Yeah, I did not think to... I definitely did not make the connection that folks made to figure out this puzzle, but it's a really cool one. That was like backwards. So we have E and we have M. And if you like lay out what each of these have, it's like E or M. And there's fewer M's, so what folks did is that they singled out the M's mostly, and then they took notice that this is the exact layout and numbers of key on a keyboard in terms of the letters. And people took the ones with M, and they got a bunch of letters, and the letters were like, what was it? We copy this. I think it was like this. There's like an H in there as well. So these are the letters that got marked with M. What's that? What's that anagram for? Thank you. And it just says thank you. But before, there was a very interesting here before. This page actually closed like, it closed in like maybe 20 hours after the website got updated. So hold on, let me see if I find this find a screenshot. deltarune website, thank you. Let me see. One, save it. Oh, here it is. So this is what was on it before, and now it's closed. It was this. It's a text box prompt, another text box prompt, and then a confirm button. The tab title. Oh yes, the tab title says, "How long did it take her to smile?" What the fuck kind of question is this? I have to assume they're talking about Noelle, because Noelle is a rather mysterious character. I feel like it makes sense for her to be the center point of a mysterious query like this. What some folks did is, I guess you're being prompted to answer this question. So I think what people did is they put their email down, and then they put their answer. And some folks got and I unfortunately was late to this, but some folks were given response email like this. You answered 0 seconds. And certain things are blacked out at the bottom. Very strange. So I don't know what the hell this could be. I think people were like saying that it closed when someone got the right answer or something. I don't know what it could be. Or like someone, or maybe like one person got the right answer and like they got a specific email. What could it be? So we have that. What else do we have? So we're at chapter 4. I mean, chapter 5 is not coming out anytime soon. But what if? Chapter 5. Oh. Here we are, chapter 5. Your phone number? That's some sensitive information you've given up to to Mr. Toby. So we have chapter 5 page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who fucking knows why they're like sized the way that they are? Because one and 3 are invisible. 1's tiny, 2 and 3 are the same. 4 is littler, and 5 is like medium. And I really don't know what the hell this could be about. Is this like, I'm sure there's gonna be something clear at some point that like, okay, this is what this is about, but like, you can take this for anything, really. I think one thing people were thinking is like, oh, this is how long the chapters are, or how much is in them. I cannot see that being the case, no. Because one is like not magnitude smaller than 2 or anything. It's like definitely smaller, but it's not like that's a bit much. And why are they blacked out? What happens when we press on 2? If you know that song, then you know. Kind of a banger. If you know that song, I know that song. I think some of y'all might not. For very good reason. Um, we hit 3. What a fun sound. So this sound is associated with chapter 3. Interesting. We hit 4. Oh, we already went to 4. We hit 5. What a strange melody. And people have made the connection that this is like a very similar note progression as it's very similar to how this song opens. Y'all know this song, of course. Wait, maybe not. Here. Okay, so we have this. Let me play this again, and let me play. Have this. Same thing. Very close. Let me do that one more time. Seems like very similar. Something about this song. It sounds like despondent. It sounds strange. That's fun. Let's see. I think for the other pages we need to go back to the website. Once I play chapter 2, I'm gonna rewatch this VOD. Yes. I hope you have fun with it, Juno, can I give you some advice, Juno? A little bit. It won't make sense in context, but I think it might enrich your experience with the game. Let me see. Okay, Juno, my advice. Maybe make a note somewhere. How far have you made it in chapter 2 so far? Because I know your save got bugged out or something. Spam the sweepstakes. Send me over to the sweepstakes. Yes. We have, of course, Noel's gamer page. Oh, you haven't started at all? Ugh. How do I... Let me think of who's gonna play it through on stream, but save file. Did you... Let's see. Did you lose your chapter 1 save? Because if you like did completionisty stuff for chapter 1, yeah, that would be fortunate to lose. But you can just start at chapter 2 if like you really just want to get to it. That songbite has a very, yeah, it does kind of have that like kind of a tired sunset feel. All Day Girl 1225. This is fantastic. Listen to this song. This is like fire. I know I can start at chapter 2, but I really want to finish it. Okay, yeah. That's unfortunate. I don't know. Did something like specific happen to a save? That's a bummer for sure. Anyways, that's that. Is she a devout Christian? You would never guess. Maybe you might be able to answer that for yourself. When you play the game, maybe. Where is it? Okay, I think that's it. Okay, here. Okay, here. I don't know how you get to this page exactly, but here we go. Everyone's heard of snow days, but did anyone else ever have rain days? I swear, one day it was pouring so hard it sounded like someone was jumping on the roof of the house. So my mom called school and made them cancel just so I wouldn't. Like, come on, a little water never hurt anyone. Except maybe for deep sea cave divers. XD. Sorry. Noelle is. Toby characterizes Noelle so well with with this extra bit of content. At least because of that, my friend could come over without an umbrella. Why? He was totally soaked. We had to put 3 of my mom's hair dryers on full blast for like 30 minutes. At least we got to use the dryer to make melty cheese crackers. Yum yum. Anyways, is what rains. Nothing was better than playing cat petters, specifically the mini games you can play with your cats. They were all ridiculous, and every one of them had these super silly, horrific names, like Jongler or something. What does that mean? I remember being really into one of the games when I was little. I can't remember the name because it was complete nonsense. Sorry, XP. But it was the one that was like an endless cave, if that makes sense. I even made a guide to the rarities of the different cats get to raise your score. I still have the text file, although it's just named b.text. Really helpful to me, XP. I intend to do it through all the way from the start since save is my chapter 1 save is in the trash compactor. I've been considering that. Maybe like playing 1 and 2 again, back to back, just to try myself to 3 and 4. I'll consider that for sure. So here we go. So here are the cat rates. So the chances for the cats. 80% normal, just a common cat. 15% for the blue aura cat. Spelled aura there. 4% for the rock and roll cat. 0% for the angle wing cat. uh, 0 to the 5th power percent for the super holy angle wing. And wow, imagine pulling a super holy angle wing. Crazy. I sort of feel like there were more though. Like one time I remember getting a cat and it actually lowered how many points I had. And then of course I died immediately, so I couldn't get a picture or anything. And of course no one else has ever seemed to see this. Once again, Noelle demonstrates her ability to just passively bust a game up without trying. Actually, I get the feeling from someone else I know has seen it, but I just know that even if I asked them, I probably wouldn't get a straight answer. XP, ugh. Super fun fact, on a related note, these same games even make a cameo in Cat Petters the RPG, which, like everything good, is kind of a ripoff of the original, of Dragon Blazes, if I'm being honest. XD. Okie dokie. Let my bias show for a second there, XP. You guys should really play it though. Wow. Hi, LA. Got a new song, why do you show? Rare, yeah, rare, y'all are not ready for rare cats. As usual, if anyone thinks they can find any proof, try it yourself and let me know. Yes, about my friend. She came over because I said I was going to play cat petters, not that that I was going to pet her. So we know that this of course is Caddy. Wait, no, is that her name? Hold on. Yeah, this is Caddy. The there she is. Caddy deltarune. There's that's like a 99% that it's this character. I hope you're sewing very happily all day. but she thought that I was going to pet her. What kind of game would that even? So I just made a cat named after her in the game and made it play metal music on my music box. I'll try not to corrupt that one. I still had to pet her a little or she wouldn't come home. Let's check out this link. Oh shit! Y'all! God! Oh, we got a full screen for this. It's rare cats. Let's click on it. Plus 50. Whoa. 10. Okay, I'm not so impressed. I'm not so pleased with that. Okay, we're getting a lot of 10 back to back. 10. Is this 250? What the fuck? Oh, no fucking way. We got the 250s back to back. What the fuck, dude? Oh my god! It almost did the screensaver move. What the? Oh no! That one was going for a bit. No way. This one cheated me out of a good number. Anyways, let's just play this for a while. This is really fun. Oh shit! There we go. 250. Love to see it. I need to address how fluid this sprite is. Like, look at this. Like the arms waving up and down, the tail, the legs like reorienting their perspective. It's really I so badly hope to see this in the game. This is like a perfect like battle idol for sure. Yeah, how rare did it get? Yeah, that's what we're trying to answer here. There we go. I love that rock and roll strum. There we go. So the rest we've seen so far is the flaming aura. The flaming aura rock and roll cat. hope this is the night. Yes. Whoa! What the heck? Spawned a window. Oh, it's gone. Where'd that come from? This is all just very interactive gameplay. There we go. This is just very pleasant, I think. Maybe this will be all of next year as well. This is like Cocomelon, yeah. Very... It's like a primally fulfilling experience. Bake, you don't know rare cats? Hi Bake, hope you're well. Getting the high score, Bake. Getting a lot of comments. Whoa! What the fuck is that? Chat! What? God. Oh my... Hold on. Flip this. Let me screen cap this. Hold on. Okay. Are we ready to click on Ultimate Angle Rare Cat? What a mysterious tone it produced. And it's brought us here. It's brought us to a selection of windows, it seems. Oh, and it's dog. And the URL, of course, reads, Where would forest lost grow the? I don't think is completely legible. The grow lost wood forest where? And the trick to this is you browse all of them. You look for the one that's a little different. What part should be different? Why, maybe the little egg-shaped panel up here? Here we go. A tree. Roots. Lost where the forest would grow. Is this the same windows as Undertale Sands Hall? I don't think so. But it does have that kind of shape, yeah. Not quite. Not quite, but the silhouette's pretty similar. And I'm sure the deltarune is hidden here somewhere, because boy does Toby like to plaster that symbol everywhere. So here we have the special egg window. Brings us here. Lost where the forest would grow. The interesting sound there, produced by this tree. Is this a window on the church in town? That's actually really worth looking into, actually. Looking at it, it seems... Hold on. Deltarune, church... What? All these screen caps are so bad. What the hell? Deltarune Church. Juno, you would be correct there because this is the same. It's the same image. It's the same image of the ocean that is being overlaid here. Never gotten in church? No, not yet. We've not been in the church yet. Oh. Okay, here's the church. Here's a pretty good look at it. Let's see. It's like really not far off. It's like definitely a similar shape going on. Yeah, it's the same image underscore depth, yes. Not too far off. We're definitely heading into the church at some point. It's for sure an important location. No doubt. I'm in hedge is the window the same. Right. A bit close, yes. So yeah. And hold on. Let me so on the Deltarune store page, there's like preview images, of course, and what's his name? Jockington, yes. And for some reason, for reasons that we are not knowing, is it here? Yes. This is an image from the store page. Jockington grows the beard. So Jockington grows a beard at some point. We have some kind of character here, and of course it's the same pattern. How mysterious. And he's kind of making like a Stussy. I don't know what's happening there. It's the same, yeah, it really is the same, yeah. We don't know why he grows the beard, and also there's like hold on. Deltarune.com. So the Deltarune website is it's been updated since like the announcement, it's been updated with these buildings in the background. These buildings are certainly important in some way. Uncle's welcome, hello. Um these these very these no, they're very strange towers. They're like uncharacteristically like detailed. Like, look at this. This is like there's buildings don't look like this between the games really, and they're whatever these are, or wherever they are, is enough of an important detail that they appear on the actual website for the game, and they appear as an optional border because on for the console releases they have these borders that you can turn on for the yeah, and of course they do have the Deltarune, of course. So whatever these buildings are, they're probably going to be as important as let me pull up the as Undertale's box art has Undertale has a very simple box art, but it does have um this view of New Home lining the bottom here. So this building is, or wherever they are, is probably going to be at least kind of similarly important to New Home, I think. So curious. Let's keep clicking this tree. Oh, we're back here. Hold on. Aren't you forgetting something? Am I? Could I be? Griped Renutel. Renuthel. You want to decode this for me? Oh, the church turtle. He has a totally normal name. What's his name? Gerson, yeah. Wait. No. That's Undertale. Alvin? Alvin? I think it's Alvin. Yeah, Father Alvin the turtle. I have no idea. Father Alvin is also a whole thing. This guy here. This turtle man. Gerson, yeah, Gerson is his father, and Gerson is the character from Undertale. And is he wearing like a? Is this his hair? Like I kind of read it as like a shawl, as we got like the kind of like knot under the neck. So yeah, this fella is kind of suspicious. He has a really suspicious piece of dialogue somewhere in chapter 2. Era Babushka, yeah. That's how I read it. I guess the pink eyebrows maybe suggest that it's hair, but I don't know what this is then. Yeah, Gerson's dead. Gerson's dead as fuck, for sure. So yeah, Alvin is a whole nother thing with theory about the game. Um, where is it? I don't know how. I forget how you get to certain, but we just cheat our way over them. Wait, hold on. Oh no, did I close it? Oh, I closed it. No. Oh right, yeah. Okay, so for these windows here, you kind of also have to like decode what the URL is an anagram for, and it's a bit harder, but if you do the work, the anagram for this is um a very curious phrase. The poor children, which, given what we know about the backstory of this game and how the characters are doing, is pretty alarming. We're here. We are at webpage therapy. Wow. Therapy. This is what therapy is all about. It's all about drawing. And the connection that someone made a connection that I think is very agreeable. Um, hold on. The deltarune. Okay, yes. Okay, here. So this is from the Azrael's page on the Deltarune wiki, and there's a bit of just a piece of like what seems like character building, uh, like dialogue that happens at some point about Azrael. Breath. Here. Okay, here we go. Azrael used to go to QC's diner with his family on Sundays after service. After Toriel and Asgore separated, Azrael still took Chris there every Sunday to buy him hot chocolate, after which the two would sit in the corner booth and draw on the window with their breath. drawn the window with their breath, which is why the lines are so fleeting, because it's perspiration on the window. That made me tear up. Yeah, it's pretty. Hope he does some good, like soft characterization with those just these very optional bits of dialogue. So that's what people. I feel like this really adds up, and it being called therapy is like the port like this is like this is a thing that they'll do from the childhood for children. Therapy uh maybe it's like a I don't know a thing Chris does to center themselves. That could be it. Let's keep doodling. What should we draw? Any requests? Let's see. Let's see. I want to draw. I mean, of course, I gotta get my man's in here. You gotta slow down a tiny bit so that the gaps could close. Favorite little guy. Oh, cat room. Something. Alright, let's. Uh-oh. We all know this tree. I know this tree very well. You click here. It takes you to egg. This is an this is an older page from when the sweepstakes first happened. But but it does take you to egg. Um, which I think adds up with what we know about this tree. I could read this. This is a very interesting page. Um, if you have no pets, it's known that there's a rare chance for an egg to appear, giving you a pet. This is the only way to get some of the secret cats, the rare cats. They're still super rare on top of that. So it's a lot of waiting for eggs, hatching them, and throwing away tons of cats trying to get the perfect character. This caused other problems, but I'll explain that another time. One day, when I was trying to get the ultimate cat, something weird happened. White egg showed up on my screen, but there was a message with it. Special. I was really excited. I've never found a special egg before. In fact, I never even heard of it at all. I sat there for an hour waiting to see what it would turn out to be. Maybe I would be the first one to discover a brand new cat. But what was weird is the egg never hatched. I started to worry that it was some kind of glitch, so I decided to try and get rid of it before I hurt my computer. And that's where things got really strange. No matter what I did, I couldn't move or throw away the egg. I tried clicking it over and over, and in the end, all that happened is it made some kind of weird noise. Some kind of weird noise, huh? This freaked me out so much I deleted the game and reinstalled it. But the egg was still there, honestly. But at a molder, I think what happened is I had so many mods installed that the egg didn't know what to hatch into. And at the time, I thought my computer was haunted or something, or the egg was going to kill me. After a few hours of freaking out, I eventually faced my fears and loaded up the game again. The egg was there, but it didn't seem to be doing anything. So I started raising it like it was a normal pet, brushing it and playing with it and stuff. By the end of the day, I actually started thinking it was a cool pet, and maybe I could try to figure out how to upload it online as a mod. I wasn't able to do that though. Next day, the egg was gone with a message that said it left home due to happiness. Usually the message is pet left home due to sadness and only because you neglected your pet. It's not supposed to happen because you were nice, XD. One last thing, the egg actually had a name, but I don't remember what it was. It's been driving me crazy ever since. Oh my god. We're gonna find out what this thing was called. If anyone has ever seen an egg in their game like this, please sign my guest book. Please, first one gets 100 cheesy points from me, XP. 100 cheesy points, wow. Um, there's so Okay. Um, one thing that's I think really important to Deltarune is that Toby is characterizing the main cast in a very specific way. Specifically, um, I I'm pretty sure I'm sure there's like a lot of corroboration for this. That is Toby is giving most of the main cast like his childhood because Toby he grew up in like what is it like rural uh religious like Midwest, I'm pretty sure. And obviously he grew up with games. He modding had been his thing since he was a little baby child, and it's maybe a little suspicious that Noel here is an avid gamer, avid game breaker, an avid modder, and then we have Chris and Azriel, who are like uh, who are like who have a history with the local church of the game. So it's all very deliberate that that Toby is characterizing these characters in a way that with backstories that he is very familiar with. Noel especially, like Noel is living that Toby Fox lifestyle. I'm so fascinated. So yeah, that's where it takes you. It takes you to Egg. Let me see any other pages. I think that should be it. Um, let's keep playing Rare Cats. So yeah, that's most of the pages. Most of the pages that the sweepstakes have been updated with. It's so interesting. I I love all of it. Whatever Deltarune is, it's like one of the most novel and unusual ways to communicate a story like ever. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Ollie. He's following his hero Itoi's footsteps and adding biography to the slice of life portion. So yeah, yeah. Deltarune is very apparently like it's a story that's very familiar to him. Characters are very familiar. He's giving them his life, and oh, it's so interesting. Oh, look at that. Sick. One of them. That one of them. I don't think that was a cat. I don't think that was a cat chat room. I don't think that was a cat. Um. Oh wow. And we can't even go back to rare cats. And let's maybe catch up with what Noel says about rare cats. Okay, here it is. I sort of feel like there are more though. Like one time I remember getting a cat, and it actually lowered how many points I had. And then of course I died immediately, so I couldn't get a picture or anything. And of course no one else has ever seemed to see this. And trying to hold on. Of course, we know that face. We are very familiar with that face. Um, and okay, yeah, here. That's what is it? Hold on. Anyways, so that smile is a thing we've seen before. It's this little smile that has cropped up a couple times at this point. This smile that we all know. Amy, welcome. Hello. Howdy. Um, of course, this first appears very discreetly in uh, chapter 2, and the image file for this in game is called image friend. So some kind of friend. But what's especially curious is that this creature appears in in Rare Cats, which is a game that features only cats. And all of the different cat variations are like their their file names are like cat hyphen one or something, cat up to like seven, and I think and this one here is I believe cat 7. So I think the implication is that this is a cat, and what other cat could it be other than maybe some kind of Cheshire cat? That's the kind that's what people are thinking at this point, and I think there's a lot of backing for it. And deltarune hidden puppets, and in deltarune there is a very hidden it's a very it's not brought up really by the game, but there's certain enemies can have certain classifications. Conkles, that's very cruel. That's very cruel of you, Conkles. And here are some of the elements that enemies can have. Element name, puppet slash cat. Now, if only I knew of a puppet and a cat that had maybe similarly colored eyes, maybe. What the fuck could this mean? What the fuck could all this mean? Juno, no. You trying to? I was trying to sneak upstairs in the dark. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Juno. Yeah, that's a fucked up thing that happened to you. So yeah, I'm so fascinated by all of this. And hold on, deltarune. If y'all don't know about this, this is another. This is another piece of deeper deltarune lore. Here. Okay. So in deltarune, here's some file shenanigans. In the files of deltarune, there is just in chapter 1 and chapter 2, there is a disembodied string of dialogue in both of them that is just it's totally disembodied. It's like not meant to be used in the game. It's just there in the code of the game. This is how it reads. This is how the one for chapter 2. Oh, hold on. Let me pull up both of them. Where is it? Code dialogue. We gotta read soon, but happy to be busy with this. Okay, yes, here it is. This is both of them back to back. So this is a character that is very cognizant, and they're speaking, very deliberately speaking here. So in chapter 1, oh 9, okay, yeah, that's what I assumed. Is there like is there 8 other cats? I don't even know if I because maybe there's 8 there's 8 other than cat 009. But yeah, cat 009 seems to be a very important character here. Okay, so this is what the character says, whose text is disembodied in the. Where am I? Hello, anyone? Is anybody out there? Someone, anyone? Can anyone hear me? It's dark. It's so dark here. Someone, anyone, if you can hear me, say something, please. So that's how that ends. And cats have 9 lives. I did not make that connection. That adds up a lot. I'm so curious about what this smiling fella could be. Here we go. Here's how it continues off in chapter 2. No one can hear me, can they? I guess not. To be honest, I'm not even sure I can hear myself. It's so quiet here. And yet sometimes I swear I hear something. Something like scratching? Something like scratching. Only we could identify maybe what might be scratching. Something that some sort of entity that maybe doesn't exist within the confines of the game. Something maybe that is known to scratch out of habit, out of behavior. Some sort of claw haver, yeah. Maybe. And that's what folks are thinking. And I think that adds up. I'm that shit is less than a month away and I'm so scared. I'm scared. I think that's about it. Some real fun nuggets of information and mystery from the updated website. Y'all, it's right there. It's like right there. It says June 5th. That's for Switch. On other platforms, remember, these are, where is it? Where's the newsletter? Okay, well, it's releasing 8 a.m. PST on the 4th. So do whatever conversion you need to. How many chapters? 7. 7 on 10. We don't know for sure. Probably 7, but hold on. The deltarune chapter select. So here's the chapter select screen. This is the chapter select screen. And if there's one thing I should know about deltarune, it's that this is also part of the game. So it says there's 7. There probably will be 7, but I'm very open-minded against that fact. We don't know. Oh, I'm so. Ugh, okay. Anyways, that should be all. I think we've gone on for a healthy amount of time here. Oh, hold on. I was thinking of streaming chapter 2 as part of a Pride event thing, or June 5th and having it open to pals who want to see. Whoa. Yeah, I think I'd be down. I think I would be. Next month should be when I'm cleared up from a bunch of busy work. Yeah, I think that would be. Thank you for soft invitation. Okay. Let me make sure Secret Sleepover is up now. Resident Lore and Lawkeeper, yeah. I work in both. I work in the library branch. I work in the law branch. I love incarceration, is what I'm saying. This is very nice. I made good progress on the little guy. I've been working for a while now. You're crocheting a little guy, okay. I did not know what you're crocheting, but I'm happy to know that it's a little guy. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go say hi to Secret Sleepover now. Thanks for stopping by. I got a lot of my thoughts out about the game today, and that was pretty fun. I think about Deltarune and Undertale about as much as I think about death romantic, so it's a big part of my mental faculties. Fabric scraps everywhere. I hope you're ready to share progress at some point. I would love to see. Yeah, of course, Kate. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate seeing you. Okay, let's see. They're playing Blueprints, which they've been at for a bit. Let's see. It's nice to know others think about Deltarune every morning when they wake up and every night. Yeah, it's most of my mental facilities these days. Okay. Raid message. Blueprints. Let's see. Who do we want to raid with? Yeah, thanks for stopping by, y'all. TV's going down. Thanks to Kofi members. I, of course, still must refurbish the Kofi, but for the folks there, you should allot a monthly, like, 40-50 is incredibly handy. 269? Is that what they're looking for? Let's see. Blueprints. I don't know too much about this, so... Room 269 is Gaster's room. That's pretty fun. Let's see. Let me... Yeah, welcome. Hello. Are you just here? I don't know if you're lurking or not. Let's see, I don't... Great message, okay. What do I want to read with? I simply do not know, most times. Well, you're just in time, Matt. You're stopping by. Real simple raid message this time. There we go. Okay. Heading off now. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Thank you for talking about me with the game that keeps me going. It really do be. Yeah, super appreciate it. Let's see. Probably gonna be continuing Dark Souls with Servina tomorrow. Servina taking a break today. Well deserved. Let's see. Let's see. I'll probably stream Deltarune 3 and 4, maybe like a month after. A month or two after I play it myself. Been thinking of a couple games I should stream at some point. I'll probably stream Dark Souls 2 because I feel like I should play that game at some point, at least, being a Dark Souls gamer. Let's see. Maybe I'll do Deltarune, like 1 and 2, to catch up before that big release. Anyways, keep an eye on next month. Not only is Deltarune happening next month, something else is happening. It's gonna be a little funny.